to the headed stream, and then save.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
It's not visible, but this is basically show it to everyone. So if you go on, like the moment you hit save, it will go on to everyone. So you can start streaming, and then I'll show you the other things that we do. It's okay. You start with Prabhupada. Okay. And then we can start with
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Gaura Premanande.
Ashtotra Sita Shishimar, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivaraja Vajraja Ashtotra Sita Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौ भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण को गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की नवदीप धाम की मायापुर धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी नीलाचल धाम की जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र महारानी की श्री श्री गौरी ताई की श्री श्री राधा शरद बिहारी की भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की मुनिमाई गंगामाई की संवेद भक्त वृंद की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की संकीर्तन यज्ञ की ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की श्री राम नवमी महोत्सव की गौ प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru Shigaranga. Namaste, Narasimhaya. Mahavita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Jai Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki Jai Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai Sri Prabhupada ki Lord Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki
Hare Krishna, everyone. Happy Navami. How's everyone doing? Did anyone go outside today? It's so nice out. It's beautiful out. So thank you for all being here on this beautiful day to celebrate the appearance of Lord Ramachandran. So we have a wonderful program here tonight, and hopefully you can stay for its entirety. We have from 4:30 to 5:30 we'll be having Abhishek, which is the bathing of the Lord. While we are all here, I wanted to let everyone know that we are streaming the event live on YouTube. So if there is anyone that is not here and wants to participate, you can certainly watch that online streaming. There we go. See? That's also going through onto the YouTube channel. We will be having from 5 to 5:30, as I mentioned, the Abhishek. And there's going to be a specific order for how the lines will go with that. So we'll make sure to make everyone aware of that. We're going to do the Prabhus on the right side, and the left side is going to be for the Mataji. So we'll have the two separate lines going through for the bathing to keep it simple. And then we're going to be doing from 5:30. We're going to have a wonderful lecture by His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Swami, so we'll be able to hear the glories of the pastimes of Lord Ramachandran. At 6:30, we're going to have a dance by Srinijaya. And then at 6:40, we're going to have a song by Brinda and Nitya, glorifying Lord Ram. We also do have RT plates that are available. We'll be doing an RT later on in the evening, so if you would like to offer a tali to the Lord, you may go outside at the table and make a donation for that RT as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll continue with some of the announcements and updates as we go along. And if you have any questions, ask me or one of the festival folks around here. So please enjoy the next one, the Abhishek. Hare Krishna.
This is what he gave. Is that a different picture?
No, PDF is there. You can go to next page.
Next page?
The first page. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So before we start the Abhishek, I would like to share this verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, and it's about the glories of the name Ram. So if you can repeat after me. Ramante yogino nante
Ramante yogino nante
Satyanande chidatmane
Satyanande
Iti Rama pade naso Param Brahma vidiyate. So the translation is as follows. The supreme absolute truth is called Rama because the transcendentalists take pleasure in the ultimate true pleasure of spiritual existence. So we will sing a verse from the Gita Govinda about the glories of Lord Ram. Vitarasi dikshurane dikpati tamaniya dashamukhamolim balim ramaniyam keshavadhita rama sharira daya jagadisha hare daya jagadisha hare follows. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Ramachandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroyed the 10-headed demon Ravana and distributed his heads as a delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions, headed by Indra. This action was long desired by all of them, who were much harassed by this monster. Hare Krishna.
You can do picture in picture. Oh, where is that?
Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita
यहाँ पर रखो यहाँ पर।
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is anyone chanting? Not loud. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Live, recording live.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Hari Hari Bo.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So we are going to move on to the next part of our evening, of our program. We're going to have a wonderful lecture by His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Swami, who is visiting here. He's also formerly known as Mahatapa Prabhu, a senior disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Vikasha Swami Maharaj, who serves as the temple president of ISKCON San Diego for over 10 years. While executing his service, he has developed many innovative and successful outreach programs, such as the popular Krishna Lounge, the San Diego Brahma, a number of great exceptional the sannyasi or lifelong renunciation, Bhakti Yoga. And he does have a YouTube channel as well where you can see some of his classes. So let's... Oh, it's outdated, but you still see wonderful older classes of his. So I'm sure they're just as wonderful. So let's please give a warm welcome to His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Swami Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Mukham karati vachalam pangum langate girim Yat kripatamam bhande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Water. It's coming.
It is not only a pleasure, but for a devotee it is also a duty to celebrate the festivals such as Rama Navami. Some years ago, I was traveling with my Guru Maharaj, and in one point we had to part ways. He had to go back to India, and I had to go back to the States. And we just couldn't figure out the details. Particularly, there was one period where I would have to spend traveling alone in order to make it back in time to Delhi to catch my flight back to LA, Los Angeles. Of Krishna's incarnations. These stories are not mere stories, even though there are also fascinating stories. How many of you have read Ramayana, if I may ask, in the audience? Just a few. How many of you are proud owners of a copy of Ramayana? Okay. Take a pen and note down those who didn't get their notes. Be contacting me afterwards. Fascinating, thrilling story. But the thing which is ultimately fascinating is that just like Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana or the story of Lord Rama is packed with bhakti, is packed with devotion. There's nothing in there, a devotee would say, there's nothing there except devotee devotion and the object of devotion, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Rama. If we look at descriptions of character and the activities of different devotees of Lord Rama, dedication of Hanuman, dedication of the... I'm speaking, assuming that all of you know at least dedication of the monkeys, dedication of Lord Ram to his eternal divine consort Sita Devi, the dedication of Sita Devi to Lord Ram, to this relationship, the quality of friendship, the loyalty of the Lord towards his devotees, Jatayu who falls down. It wasn't exactly a battlefield, but in some ways it was, as he tried to prevent the horrible person Ravana from kidnapping Divine Mother Sita, losing his life in this duel with this person. But he was very happy. He was very happy because he was, not because he didn't succeed, but because he did his best to serve Lord Rama. So this is a story of God, of his devotees, and the devotion that's found in this relationship between God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Rama, and his devotees, and the devotion amongst these devotees of Lord Rama. So this is what's really, really fascinating in this story. Now, all of these incidences also communicate to us really a lot. Really a lot. Thinking of perhaps
audience that's a bit more variegated than in some other venues I would encounter. I picked only two which are, I would say, essential to the life and understanding of anyone who's on the devotional path. Well, if I may just quote really quick, and I'm not sure who said this, but I heard a lot of people say it. It doesn't matter. The saying goes that if you have nothing to die for, you really don't have anything to live for. So this is the nature of Krishna consciousness, or nature of devotional life, nature of bhakti. And same holds true when we speak of Lord Rama. If one has nothing to die for, one has really nothing to live for. That's really an empty heart. And this world is really is such that everything in this world is terribly temporary. Terribly temporary. Devotion, at least not that kind of devotion as we're capable of giving. But when eternal relationships are in question, relationships of a soul with God, this is an eternal relationship that cuts through all boundaries of time, space, cultures, concepts. It is always there. Now this is something which is capable of drawing a lot of devotion from us. And a heart devoid of devotion is really a dry, empty heart. One sorrowful existence. Now everyone has some kind of devotion in the heart. But the devotion of the greatest quality is a devotion that rests on these eternal relationships, on these eternal principles. So now on to these two lessons. One aspect of the story of Lord Rama, Sita, Hanuman, Lakshman, and the monkeys and all other devotees, which is rather, we would go. And it's interesting, I was just reading a little bit on the internet. There are many different editions of Ramayana, and it's interesting that in some cultures, so these 14 years, so many for us, that's heart-wrenching, cooks up some nasty politics in the court and has Rama hurt. Ever displaying superhuman power here and there. And so now, at first, he doesn't even know where Sita is. And then eventually the war breaks out of Ravana. Not exactly professional army, just wild monkeys. Statistics down. It's hard to tell who's going to win, and at the end, the Lord Ram wins. And it's based on and then coronated from Lord individual. We tend to never. He always lives, behaves, acts, thinks righteously. And so much evil comes upon them, upon him and upon Sita Devi. And they even live religious life. Often people think, I'll do puja, I'll be religious, I will. Not only in our tradition, in all spiritual traditions, people have this concept. And God will protect. They're replete with troubles. Messages. And this is all that's for the soul that has lost spirit. What's the problem? The problem is to not accept this world as our home. very difficult thing to do. I didn't come here to bash anyone who has a hard time accomplishing this, because we all have a hard time accomplishing this. A conditioned soul has a tendency to think of this world as their home. But truth be told, honestly, this world is a very temporary place. Bhagavad Gita, and I was thinking, oh, what will Krishna? And the answer that Krishna gives is an ever-changing realm. Means whatever you in the Ramayana, the pastimes of Lord Rama, that life in this world that happened to us, it does happen. There is a saying that no one thinks they're going to have a flat tire. But every day, hundreds of people get a flat tire as they go to work or back from work or wherever they may be going. I travel a lot, and to me it happened a bunch of times. So one of the lessons from Ramayana, and by the way, this is not a bad news. Please don't get this wrong. This is a wonderful news. Ramayana is a wonderful story. And the lessons of Ramayana are wonderful. This is not a bad news. Truth is good. To be obtuse towards the truth is not good. Fire can be nasty if you don't know how to relate to it. But if you know what the fire is, you can in this world. Lost that day. I'm paraphrasing. Maybe knows that quote. But naturally we're attached, and naturally we're renounced. We all the time we experience attachment and renunciation. So also with this world, we have to learn to appropriately balance our attachment and our renunciation. To things which are temporary, we should be only temporarily attached. And to things which are eternal, we should be eternally attached. And so interesting thing is that when Lord Ram, for example, was banished into the forest, he did it. He did it. You tried to renounce it. If I were to ask many of you to right now, go out camping for a week, it would be a huge challenge. Let alone that you just get banished for 14 years. But it was no issue for Lord Ram, nor Sita Devi. Why was not an issue? Because they were already renounced. They already possessed the feelings of renunciation. Yeah. Of course, in the Hare Krishna movement, we understand that renunciation is a byproduct of our attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, or on this day, Lord Rama. So as much as we enjoy the comforts of this world, we should try not to lose out of sight that it is here only for some time, and therefore not allow our attachment to go too far. There's Srila Prabhupada quotes in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, I can't remember, it was Narada Muni or somewhere in the purport. Chanakya Pandit, he quotes Chanakya Pandit, Kuru Punya Horatram. No. It begins with come to me. It's somewhere there, it's close. Bhaja Sadhu Samagamam. Okay, we're missing just one line, the first one. luckily I know the translation. So, the worst is when it's on the tip of your tongue and then you're stuck right there. The translation is that this is an advice. This is an advice how to live in this world. And the advice is that avoid the company of durjana. Durjana means difficult people or people who don't float your boat. In Krishna consciousness, our boat is the Krishna consciousness. So people who tend to sink our Krishna conscious boat, best is to respectfully maintain distance from them. That's the first advice. Then the second advice is bhaja sadhu samagama, and literally worship the company of sadhus or the people on the path of Sat, on the eternal path, on the path to the kingdom of God, to our eternal home. Those are the kind of people that, not only those people, but our association with the company is sacred and deserves to be worshipped. This is a spiritual practice, right? And then it says, Kuru punya horatram, day and night, do only that which is good. Don't do evil. And then the last one says, smara. Smara nityam, anityatam. Did anyone understand this? Smara nityam, anityatam. Always remember what? Or always think of what? Of the quality of impermanence. Because when a person thinks, constantly contemplates, oh my God, this is also temporary. That's also temporary. That's temporary. That's temporary. Very quickly you become very Krishna conscious. Very quickly become a powerfully spiritually oriented person. Temporary, okay, but if it's temporary, that also means something. That does not deserve our ultimate and utmost devotion. The next lesson is, and I took this from Srila Prabhupada, directly in the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the story of Lord Rama and Sita is summarized. And in his lecture, Srila Prabhupada repeated this a few times, at least that I'm aware of. The Prabhupada said that from the story of Sita and Ram, we should learn that the family life is difficult. That the family life is difficult. Just see Lord Ram and Sita, there are so many difficulties. If they were just single, there would be no difficulties. Yeah, right, there would be some other difficulties, but now, Prabhupada did say this, and therefore Prabhupada said, therefore one should not be attached to family life. Now, let's just understand this really quick. And if I may just quote Bhagavad Gita quickly. In the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, there are several verses in a row where Krishna lists what elements of knowledge, and I will not read all of this, humility, pridelessness, non-violence, etc., etc. And then he says, elements of knowledge. And at the end he says, whatever is not listed here, Arjuna know to be ignorance. So it's quite a statement. And so one of the few elements of knowledge are detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, family, home, and the rest. Not be attached to family life. So, but family life is very natural. It is absolutely natural. Wherever we turn, we find only here and there, hardly ever, we find an exception. Typically, man attracts a woman attracts a man, and they couple up. It is very natural. So why should one be attached from it? We understand this further by understanding the term which Shastra uses and which Srila Prabhupada used a lot. And that is the term of Griha Medi. Griha means a home, and Medi or Medha means intelligence. So there is no problem with the family life. There's no problem with the relationship between men and women. But the problem arises when within this relationship we allow that our intelligence becomes confined within the boundaries of the family life. And there's great number of people whose lives become reduced to family life. And my own family, they're all very beautiful people. I really can't complain about family I popped into. But their intelligence is absolutely and totally absorbed only within the boundaries of the family. People get born, get an education, they grow up, they get attracted to a boy or to a girl, they start a family, then they think how to maintain the family, then they get their own children. Now they take care of those kids, and then they grow old and then they perish. Now all of these things are very natural and normal, but Griha Medi is a person whose medha, whose intelligence was confined within the family life. Human life and our intelligence, not only that it has capacity, but our intelligence is meant to explore way beyond that, way beyond that. Ultimately, our intelligence is meant to explore the spiritual heights. So this is the capacity in which a family life, or any other life, for that matter, we could say, becomes troublesome. If restricts our intelligence, binds it within the small box of family life. The purpose of life, why do we live, why do we exist? I saw a copy of Jadvaita Maharaj's commentary on the book of Ecclesiastes, which is a biblical book which raises a fantastic question. It is the only book philosophical by nature, a biblical book philosophical by nature. And it is absolutely fascinating. And it raises this question, begins with that famous statement, vanity, vanity, vanity. It is all vanity. Vanity means it's empty. Therefrom the vanity of pride, and pride means vanity, it's emptiness. It just on the outside looks like there is something, but why is it all empty? Well, if you just live to die, then there is no purpose to living. There's no value to existence. And then the people say, but I exist for my children. But your children will also come to an end. Where in it all is the meaning? Where in it all is value? So intelligence is meant to investigate this. And it is interesting how religion is answer to this question. And how often people come to religion and just don't come to the point of even asking this question, let alone investigating the answer to this question. Like where I grew up in a Roman Catholic family in the Mediterranean. And they're Catholics, but they never seen religion as a system of knowledge. They merely saw, and still now, unfortunately, see religion as a way of identifying. Like in India, people think I'm a Hindu, so I'm from India, I'm a Hindu. So in Croatia, where I grew up, people, I'm Croatian, I'm Catholic. Okay, but that's a really a big shame, because religion has so much more to offer. And the point of religion is not to merely be pious, ultimately. Might be a good beginning. Actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says that such people are glorious, but that's not the heights of religion. So in this way, this might be the second lesson that we can draw from Ramayana. When's this supposed to end?
6:30.
6:30. Okay. Then I'll actually stop there. I'll stop there, and I'll ask questions. So, can maybe one person from the esteemed audience tell us maybe of one thing they have remembered from this discussion today?
Household life or anything in the material world. I thought it was very, very on point, very intelligent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For finding me. You know, they have. I cheated when I was in school, but there were systems of cheating. Like you could study. There were books published how to cheat on a test. Very intelligent. Okay, maybe someone else. Yes.
A conditioned soul naturally feels this world to be their home, and then because of that, aims at being comfortable in their life, despite its utter ephemerality.
Very good. Important points. Anything else, perhaps?
Like Jatayu surrendered fully, and even he gave up his life in serving of the God, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can also learn the lesson saying that we can serve all the way, even.
No.
I think you have to take out like the legs and
Fantastic. That was wonderful. Really great. Let's give another round of applause for Frida. So let's welcome Brenda and Nitya. They're going to do a song glorifying Lord Rama, and they're going to speak about the song and its meaning.
yes. No, you take time.
transforming a stone into a halya. In this world, you have earned fame. With utmost love, I trust you, my father. How much I have pleaded, yet there isn't a small sign of compassion. To the extent of you being so adamant, am I nothing after all before you, my father?
Refuge of the needy is a title dedicated to you, isn't it? Please show some mercy, O protector of Bhadrachandra Ramadasa.
Paluke Mangala Mayena Kodanda Pani Paluke Bangara Mayena Paluke Bangara May Pinachina Palukavemi Kalaloni Namasmarana Maruga Chakani Tandri Paluke Bangara May Pinachina Palukavemi Kalaloni Namasmarana Maruga Chakani Tandri Paluke Bangara Mayena Yanta Vedina Gani Suntaina Dayaradu Vantamu Sayane Yanta Tivaran Tandri Yanta Vedina Gani Suntaina Dayaradu Vantamu Sayane Yanta Tivaran Tandri Paluke Bangara Mayena Ratina Tida Jesi Mutana Muna Prakyati Gajeti Vani Priti Kolamiti Tandi Ratina Tida Jesi Mutana Muna Prakyati Gajeti Vani Priti Kolamiti Tandi Paluke Bangara Mayena Nirula Visukalona Puralina Yugata Bhakti Karuninchi Brochiti Vani Nedanam Nitini Tandi Nirula Visukalona Puralina Yugata Bhakti Karuninchi Brochiti Vani Nedanam Nitini Tandi Paluke Bangara Mayena Sharanagata Trana Virudani Pudurama Karuninchi Bhadrachala Vararamana Saposha Sharanagata Trana Virudani Pudurama Karuninchi Bhadrachala Vararamana Saposha Paluke Bangara Mayena Puranda Pani Paluke Bangara Mayena. So we're going to have a final arti tonight. There is one more opportunity. If you did want to make an offering with an offering, then you can make sponsorship outside. If you have already made a sponsorship, you can pick your places when we open the deed curtains, and you can bring them along the side here. We're going to come to this side of the temple hall and bring your offering plates around this way. And I just have a couple of things, because we have these festivals every now and again, and we have a really amazing team that puts these together. So I just want to recognize the people that bring this all together, so that we know who's behind things. And it's also lets you know there's lots of service opportunities too for the next festival. So the first thank you I would like to put out there is for our beautiful deed dressing by Rajabandhu Prabhu, Bhakti Shakti Prabhu, Srira Prabhu, and Sudhir Prabhu. These are some of the pujaris that live here and keep this temple going.
Hey, Deva